So I welcome you all to the workshop Awaken Your Creative Heart through a euphonious expedition. It will be a story writing workshop. Creative writing is generally considered a natural gift or spontaneous activity. No one is a born writer. Every writer has acquired the skill knowingly or unknowingly. For example, a voracious reader who has the habit of jotting down his opinions, or a person who writes or maintains a diary, is unknowingly enhancing his writing skills because he is always writing something new. Discover yourself and your strength in creative writing through this workshop will help you develop and upgrade a new fascinating skill. So I hereby welcome our speaker, Professor, I'm so sorry, ma'am, Dr. Yoko Mogi, who is a senior lecturer, senior SOTL scholar, EDTPA coordinator in the College of Education and Human Services, University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh, USA. Ma'am, I hand it over to you now.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. My name's Yoko Mogihain, and please feel free to call me Yoko, and that's what we do in the United States. Mogihain is my hyphenated last name, and that has a little bit of my heritage. Mogi is a Japanese. I'm a first generation here in the United States, born and raised in Tokyo, Japan, and the Mogi, another one that you might be able to make a semantics. The meaning of it is the founding family of a Kikkoman soy sauce. It's the largest manufacturer of the soy sauce. It's a descendant to the Mogi family. I'm not directly related, but they also have the empress coming from that the family descendant. Hein is the family that I married to. So hyphenating Mogi Hein does have a meaning in the United States. It's in the 1970s. There's a feminist movement that you are an individual. Therefore, when you're married, you do not necessarily have to drop your family name, maiden name, but you can hyphenate. So oftentimes when you see American female scholars and individuals hyphenating their last name, it means that intentional, not necessarily feminist, but to keep their individual identity. For example, one of the great tennis legend, Chris Evert, who married to a British tennis player, Mr. Lloyd. Her name is now Chris Evert Lloyd. So now you know that when you recognize that a hyphenation, that has a little bit of a meaning in American history, that it has individual identity, and it has a lot to do with the individualistic thoughts. So that being said, and that's who I am, and I wanted to take you to the workshop of, I'm hoping takeaway is that the creative writing can have a wide range of a span, and then it has a way of individual expression. And today I'm going to use a metaphor of a feminist scholar who passed in December 15th of 2021 at the age of 69. And her name is, and it's a penmanship name, but it is best known as an individual, Bell Hooks. So she's the metaphor because in this workshop, she has a wide range of a span of the literature with academic training, such as yourself. You're attending Amity University, which is a very notable, distinguished academic institution internationally, regionally, and locally. And Bell Hooks is somebody that you'd want to remember in on the field of creative writing, because she will serve you as someone that you can put it into your frame of reference. So let me give you a little bit about that bell hooks background. But before I give today's metaphor and the great creative writing and the way to write and how to become a creative writer, I wanted to start from that, how I started my individual identity with my name. As she changed her name to a penman name as a bell hooks. And to that end, I wanted to make sure that everyone, for this is an interactive workshop, be able to interact and tag along with how I'm going to show the metaphor of a bell hooks. So I gave my name and just a little bit about maybe 3 things that I would say as an icebreaker. I'm a native Japanese, born and raised in Tokyo. And as I said, the name does represent me. And I'm academically trained in the United States, graduated from high school, undergraduate, master's, and a doctorate in the United States. My terminal degree is from Columbia University's Teachers College. And I have been teaching most recently at the University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh. I like to eat. That's personal, a trait of me, and I like to enjoy active physical activity, tennis, swimming, singing, dancing, anything to do with the movement. I really enjoy. So those are 3 things that I consider as who I am. I'm a academically trained teacher's educator, and I'm from Tokyo. And my personal thing is that I enjoy eating and I enjoy sports, movement. So let's do a round of table by, I'm actually going to invite my a very heartfelt gratitude to co-host Mr. Don Kumar. Little bit about anything, 3 things that we should remember. And let's go around the table because the creative writing begins with the 4 modes of communication: speaking, listening, and reading, and finally writing. So in creative writing, you have to first introduce yourself. So would you take 3 things, any voluntary, just open-ended, to share about you, Don?
Oh, ma'am, I'm just joining in back, ma'am. I'm facing some network issues. Ma'am, could you please share 3 things with ma'am? That ma'am is asking.
Yes,
Ma'am, could you please
everyone's
repeat
going
it? Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, could you please repeat that again, ma'am? Yeah.
Sure. It's go around the table. It's like United Nations at the workshop. Just 3 things, open-ended, like you like to eat, or you like sports, or you're a senior in your academic year at Amity University. Open-ended. There's no restriction. What should we know about you?
So, well, ma'am, I think I'll be talking about my academic year at Amity. So,
Okay. Would
well,
you start by your name first so that I would know? I'll take a note. I like to learn about you.
ma'am, I'm a Haley Chakraborty.
Okay.
Yeah. So, ma'am, I'm basically from Bengal, from a city called Kolkata. So, I came to Noida, Delhi, to pursue my education in English honors from Amity University. So I remember the first day I came to Noida, leaving everybody I knew behind at my, very known city, a city that was very close to my heart, to discover, the new possibilities in a new city. So I came to Noida I think I was a very timid person back then, unable to talk, unable to converse with people, very low in confidence. And people that were around me, I did not know anybody. And then I remember entering into Amity. As soon as I entered Amity, I still remember the day vividly. A dog came wagging his tail in front of me. And for a millisecond, I think I forgot everything. The nervousness, everything went away, and I just sat with him for hours and I started talking to him. I remember myself talking to him, and that's how I spent my first 3 months in college. I had only one friend, that was the dog. And then slowly, with each passing month, my teachers taught me. We had various subjects like communicational skills. Then we had foreign business language, and through all these learnings, I slowly got to, develop my character. And then now finally I'm here. I think a much more confident person today.
Thank you, Haley. Okay. Did we skip Don? You should introduce yourself too. You have been such a big part of my preparation. Just the three things. Don, would you like to say? Thank you, Haley.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Don would like to designate himself as a tech
Ma'am,
person.
he's
So,
having some network issue. Maybe there.
okay, then maybe Alpana, you're next. Just the three things, open-ended, anything that we should know. What would you like us to know? Okay. Alpana is not able to speak. How about Ishka? Would Ishka be able to say three things about you? Nope. Christy? So far, Haley was very successful in expressing. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. I think Ishika was about to say something. I think you can call up Nikita. I see her mic on.
Okay. Whoever can take on, so Ishika is not able. Christy, are you able to speak? Okay. It's muted, and I'm not able. So how about Raj? Would you be able to say three things about you? Okay. How about Sneha? Would you be able to say? Yes.
A very good
Yes,
evening.
Raj?
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, three things like you would like us to remember.
This question particularly, I think I would have to ponder more upon this to be specific about it. But as Haley also said, I also was a very shy person when I came to this city. I do not belong to this city. But again, if I really had to share three things about this year has taught me how to be grateful. So that is one memory that I'll always remember, is to be grateful and to embrace people and different kinds of people, and that how people are unique and we just have to accept everybody around us. And it is definitely the next thing I can only think of is gratitude. I'm also very grateful to be here talking to people like you from different places. I couldn't have imagined doing that any other way.
Thank you. Thank you. This is very exciting, but I realize there is a technology limitation. So I'm not going to reinforce everyone to say words. I've already realized that there's a cultural differences. I have been in the United States for the most part of my adult life, and we have as advanced as you go academically, it becomes what we call open-ended. There is no correct answer. What, how, and why? Open-ended question is addressed in classes. Critical writing and creative writing, both essentially is the same. You express an open-ended individual meaning. Semantics is what we call it sometimes in the linguistics. So I was hoping to make it as like American discussion class as what this is meant to be, a workshop. But I now realize that there is a technology limitation. So I'm going to, for the sake of it, assume and pass it on what the Raj had started. So that we won't take too much time upon going around the table. So today on this workshop, I'd like to first express a gratitude of having this an opportunity, and it was made possible by really Mr. Kumar. He's very technologically inclined, and I just wanted to make sure that the university acknowledge this is the second time I've been working with him. Despite all the senior faculties and all that preparation involved, this would not have been possible to have such a keener who's able to connect us technologically. And thank you, Raj, and thank you, Haley, for
Professor,
a very... Yes.
Professor, yeah, this is Alpana Kakkar. Actually, you were calling my name and I wasn't able to respond to you.
Okay, would you...
I'm sorry for that, but yes.
No, no.
I think you were calling my name to introduce myself.
Yes, three things.
That
Open
was the
and
question.
you like us to know.
Sorry?
Anything open-ended. There is no restriction. Just tell us who you are as how you would like us to remember. Like I said, and I like, and I am a teacher trainer, and I'm an academic.
Okay. So I am Professor Dr. Alpana Kakkar. I am Dean Student Support and Academic Affairs at MIT University. I am here since last 17 years, but my passion to lead youth is as long as more than 26 years. And, if I would like to, mention about that open-ended thing, my love for my students, my passion to lead my students is endless. There's no limit to that. It is not limited in any boundary of any university. But yes, MIT University has considered that passion, that emotion, and that connect of me with the youth. So I have got this opportunity to work for around 10 years as a student welfare and now as a student support and academic affairs. What else want to know about me? This is my professional. Yes, I am though I am a computer engineer, done my computer science engineering, but learning never ends. I feel that you can learn from everything, and there's no limitation to it, that you can learn only from books or only from your seniors or only from your teachers. I learn each day from the observation around that, the environment that we have around. We have learned a lot from these workshops and these panel discussions. Though I'm not a literature person, but still I'm loving all these workshops and all these panel discussions, because something or the other which is there, which is touching your heart. We are really touched. Actually, we are learning a lot about literature also. In fact, in this all these groups, all these my student coordinators here or any other students who are here are not only from the literature background. They are not learning English as such, as per se the degree, but they are interested in learning literature. They are interested in writing poetry or story writing. And I think you as a professor and I will definitely second this, that these all students, whatsoever is the course or the program they are in, or whatever country they are sitting in, these youth have good stories to tell us. So they have lots and lots of story. So this is I mean, this conversation can go long for hours if we start. So let me end it here only, because you might be winding this session now. So thank you so very much, Professor.
You're welcome. So with the technology and with that content that we would like to move on, I'm going to begin with share screen. And it looks like once I share screen, I may not be able to take a roll call of the students and faculty who are here today. But I think it might be better to just move on to content. So thank
Ma'am?
you. Yes.
Ma'am, before we go ahead, some of the students, they really wanted to, introduce themselves voluntarily. They really like the activity. So can they introduce themselves if possible?
Excellent. Is this Haley speaking?
Yes.
You're very helpful. Oh, that's so sweet. So let's give, for the sake of a time in a workshop, give each other perhaps like 1 minute and say anything open-ended. And I'm so glad that Haley, you were able to take the first introduction by saying how shy you were, how big city impacted your behavior. And I'm also grateful that Raj was able to express how difficult and what a transformative experience moving to big city, and then the gratitude to the university that taught us so much on the first year. That's like really wonderful. But for the sake of it, and then I'm very grateful for the passion to lead the teaching, in learning. The Dean Alpano expression was remarkable. But so for the sake of a time, let's keep maybe each student try like a minute or two. Once again, very important, being individual and open-ended. Anything you would like to say. As I said, like I like to eat, I like to move, and I like to learn. I'm an academia. Anything open-ended. So take the microphone. Thank you. Who'd like to go next with your name first?
Ma'am, Nikita this side. Nikita Tekmani. Am I
Thank you.
audible? Yeah, so I would describe myself more like an artistic person because, as it is a literature fest and, literature fascinates me. I am more into writing. I feel like if I would choose like how people remember me, I would like them to, remember me as a person who can create magic with a pen. So this is me. I came from a small city and it was very, overwhelming when I came to Delhi. But all my like teachers and everybody, they were really supportive of it. And they helped me to gain, like, be more confident about myself. I was not a kind of person who would speak really good at, when it's crowdy, when it's, when it comes to public speaking. But now, Amity has taught me like self-confidence here. Now I can stand in front of 100 people, 1,000 people, and talk about everything. So I feel really grateful, coming in this college.
Thank you. Thank you. And also thank you for raising hand. That's an excellent skill. You're very technological. Who'd like to introduce yourself next?
Hello, ma'am. Warm greetings. Namaste from India. Ma'am, I have joined in from Dun's device. I'm really sorry for some, Dun is working on some technical aspects for this meeting. My name is Divya Jain, and I'm a student, first year student studying political science. So talking about myself, I am really passionate about climate change. I love to read and cook, and basically, like on a very basic scale, uh, I am a sort of person who is a people pleaser, as in who would love to interact with people, make them feel happy, and share happiness across. So that is what I wanted to say.
Thank you. Excellent introduction. Who'd like to go next? We have Christy. There's actually Kriti Jane and Kriti Kohli.
Yes, ma'am. Kriti will be going next.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, actually, I'll just turn on my camera in a minute if that's okay.
Sure. Anaya?
Am I visible and audible, ma'am?
Yes.
Like from here, I would say good evening. I'm Shriti Kohli, and I'm in the first year, and I'm currently pursuing bachelor's in science, specialized in agriculture. And like if we talk about my interest, I love socializing with people. I love traveling, and overall, I love plants. Overall, that's why I chose this stream of science. And honestly, if we talk about India, it is a predominantly agriculture country. So I want to do something, some welfare for the farmers. That would be good for them, and just to make the world a better place to live in. Thank you so much.
Oh, fantastic. By the way, agricultural country, that is indeed. And a lot of people don't realize United States is also agricultural country. And what I have remembered is that France and the United States are the only two nations can self-sustain and have resources surplus to give. Otherwise, everyone has to trade. And
Well,
India has such an impactful population, technology, and it's very, very dynamic. So I'm glad that you chose your field and still interested in things like literature and creative writing. It's a very versatile way of expressing yourself. So thank you. Who'd like to go next?
I would like to go next.
Awesome.
Okay, so ma'am, I'm an Ananya Singh. I am also pursuing agriculture, but if I talk about my literature background, literature is something that fuels the passion in me. I love reading. I have been reading since I was 9 years old, and I just felt when I went to high school, reading was something that left behind. Due to the academic pressure and everything, and when I came to Amity, I realized I need to be in touch with that part of myself, and that was the reason I joined this literature club. And when I joined this club, I just did not get in touch with reading, but also very different competitions that involves literature. So that was something which I'm really grateful for, like for the Litwit Club. And besides literature, I also dance. I am also in the crew of Amity, and I just my group is there, and we perform in our college and universities. We also sometimes go out. So that is something, dance and literature. I know they're poles apart, but but that is something that really drives me.
Excellent, excellent. So at this time, this is what I'm thinking, because this is a workshop and I wanted to have everyone an opportunity, but on the remainder of the people who did not introduce themselves, they can introduce at the end of my part of a presentation. And that time, perhaps add on the learned outcome, what their takeaway, in addition to their own self-introduction. So I hope it is okay. And what I learned so far from my audience, together with the sponsor and broadcasting, there's a 14 logged in. Now it's 13. So about 10 people, of which I had opportunity to listen to Dean's introduction, passion for teaching and learning, to lead young mind, and computer engineering background, to amazing students. I learned that a first-year students transition time, very versatile, a different genre, computer, sustainability, and then agriculture. Last two participants had mentioned that that's their field and the important academic background for global sustainability as well. So that being said, those are the things I learned already from my creative expression of being together as in a workshop. So I will try my best to, at this time, share screen and go over that individualism. And my title would be The Power of One. One as an individual, one to make a difference, one to change the system. So share screen. Let me see if I can go to share content screen. Okay, Zoom, screen broadcast. Okay. So I am in the process of switching mode from my face and being able to see you to my iPhone. Usually, this is the first time I'm actually presenting workshop with my iPhone in a global. Matter of fact, just to even prepare, I was really concerned about missing the workshop, and I got up and Don made it sure that I was still early, and I thought the time difference and I needed to be in the middle of the night, and I was really glad that it's actually 7:55 in the morning in my time. So now finally I'm sharing a screen, so let's go in my iPhone. So one of the techniques I thought about is this, that I sent message to myself so that you can actually read it, as that amazing student leader gave a little bit of that bio, my background and the learning objectives. So today I'm hoping that your takeaway is not just a fact recall that I put it on the one, but a creative writing begins with you as an individual. And I will be using a metaphor of a very individualistic scholar and a very versatile. Versatile means very, very long, vertical, versatile, a critical writer, Bell Hooks, and I'm going to write it. And she wanted people, it's a pen name as a Bell Hooks in the lowercase instead of writing as Bell Hooks. This would be like the first name, and it's a penman name, Bell Hooks. She wants people to recognize her as all lowercase, Bell Hooks. Like this. So she's a Black woman. She passed at the age of 69, as I said, in December 15th of 2021. One of the world notable scholar that the person that I like to use as a metaphor as a bell hook is that she can write a children's book, which we're going to listen to it. It's a board book, picture book, aiming for age 3. And that would be in the United States preschooler. So a little child at the age of 3 can go to schooling to learn how to become a student, learn to behave in a group setting, away from a family at age of 3. And she addressed that earliest stage. It's called Happy to be Nappy. But at the same time, I'm also going to show you maybe the little bit of image of, this is when she was young, and you can see the screen, putting her beautiful chin and hand, bell hooks. As you can see, it's lowercase, and sorry, you got one. So born as a Gloria Jean Watkins, best known by her pen name, Bell Hooks, was an American author, professor, feminist, and social activist. A lot about them, just like you. You're a dancer, you joined a literature club, but you're majoring in agriculture, and that you are from a different town coming into the big city. We are very dynamic, and she's one of the world's best known feminists who changed our thinking, writing, even our last name, the way how I don't consider myself a strong feminist, but there's a feminist movement in 1970s. She was one of them. But the book that in particular that I'm going to focus in is going to be one of the little children's literature. It's called Happy to be Nappy. But like I said, who would be writing such book? Philosopher and feminist. So as I said, she was born in 1952 and made a huge impact on America's feminist movement. It's called Women's Revolution. And in 1970s, Bell Hooks was one of the 6 children born to Watkins family. And her father was actually as a janitor. But I'm going to skip all those long part and give you a short spoken introduction. So she wrote more than 30 books, and she was a professor. She was a trained Stanford, majored in creative writing at the Stanford University, and received advanced degree at a University of Wisconsin at Madison campus. And she was a faculty. She was an activist, and she was game changer. She changed the way who we think we are, very dynamic, and you can be more than one person. And she wanted in particular the writing to be changed, even starting with her own name. She changed her name to penman name and best known as Bell Hooks. And she wanted people to really pay attention to how we write. First name and last name, she dropped the capitalization, Bell Hooks, as a lower key, as I wrote. It means that there's no wrong way to write it. People correct grammar, but creative writing, there is no such thing. Matter of fact, African American as she is, their language, white Americans used to think that is a broken English. It was not a broken, it's a coding. As a slave, earlier stage, under the beginning of the United States, we were instituting African American as a designated slaves. And it is somewhat, to this day, we don't teach enough about. So African Americans speak in rap music, in creative expression as somewhat very different from white American in standard English. And it used to be about 100 years ago, we thought that was a broken English, but it's coded because in order to escape, you needed to aim. They used the quilting as a quilting star, as a North Star to go to the northern state. And they spoke kind of like in a way of communicating somewhat the slave master will not be able to understand. And on the other of the creative writing, it's a power. The slave owners did not wish slaves to be able to read and write. So they had to use a creative expression. So they spoke differently. If master thought they're using because they're ignorant, they're not ignorant. So to this day, the rap music has that, what we now call in linguistics, ebonics. So having that tradition, she is well-educated, trained scholar, but she wanted people to know, even by her name, Bell Hooks, that person can change their identity and that you do not have to follow the grammar. Matter of fact, the capitalization on her very name, she drops Bell with a lower key B and Hooks, H with lower key. And fast forward, because she passed more recently, it's American culture now. A lot of youngsters in the teens and 20s, they write their English. They do a lot of, communication by iPhone and texting. They drop the capitalization, and older generations are very, very concerned about it, but that's really generational difference. And when the majority of the power, or majority by the populace by number, uses how we address ourselves in expression, it becomes correct. So it is now the lower key, and writing everything in lower key. And if you look at the advertising, marketing, even in the literature, it is actually acceptable. So that's one thing that creative writing, you begins with yourself, your culture, your identity. There's no wrong way to do it. As I said, open-ended, and you have been institutionalized in terms of your academic code of a profession, how you would speak proper and what to say, not to say. A lot of fact recall, as I wrote, the fact recall is how Indian culture to be accurate, exact, functional, efficient. Where I came from, I'm a Japanese trained in my former education up until junior high school. It is very much like Indian education, fact recall, memorization, what is proper, what is etiquette. So creative writing breaks that. It's fantasy, it is a power, and it is something that you can go outside of your boundary, and there is no boundary, and that you should validate yourself. There's no wrong way doing it. It's called open-ended. So I think it matches with this learning objectives. Creative writing is considered as a natural gift, spontaneous activity, and make sure that creative writing include reading, listening, and speaking, and therefore you write. And there's no wrong way to write because it is a self-expression. So the bell hooks, as you saw who she looks like, the feminist, and very impactful. Of the 30 books she wrote, most of them are academic books. And at the end of this workshop, at least I want you to remember one thing, and it is about individualism. And the metaphor would be the individual person that I want you to remember is bell hooks, so that you can take a lot of meaning. And her book can be as simple as happy to be nappy, as you can see. And then you can see that bell hooks is written on a lowercase, and it's a board book. It's a 16 images, and it's addressing age 3. But rest of 29 books that she published, Maya Angelou, one of the America's the best known creative writer, and she was, among others, many things, actress, activist, world-known scholar. Maya Angelou offered a critique of bell hooks, as each offering from bell hooks is a major event. She has so much to give us. And one of the books that I'm currently reading is called The Will to Change. And it talks about opposite of the feminist thoughts called masculinity, man, masculinity, and love. So she's very, very scholarly. And then I want you to challenge yourself and see someone who went to Stanford University and then trained at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, lived through all her life, worldly known as a creative writer. Many Americans actually did not know she actually wrote the children's book known as Happy to be Nappy in 1991. Disney picked it up and republished it in 2017. So that's how some of the popular culture picked it up. This very scholarly, but it's hidden, I don't know how you would imagine, but it's a feminist thought, and it addresses racism and anti-racist thought to embrace Black beauty. African-American girls are usually in a situated of the minority position. And bell hooks from early on, as soon as they go to school at age 3, I think her intent was to embrace, love herself. So let's listen to bell hooks' book. I think I was able to save, yep, 2 of them. This one I really like. Hopefully you'll be able to listen to it. Let's go there. I don't know if I can. Happy to be nappy. Okay. Tappy. Okay.
Edition of Sankofa Read Aloud. Today's story is titled Happy to be Nappy.
Can you hear it?
Girl pie hair smells clean and sweet.
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
ma'am.
It's soft like cotton. Flower petal, billowy soft. Full of frizz and fuzz. A halo, a crown. A covering for heads that are round. It can be smooth and patted down, pulled tight, cut close. Or just let go so the wind can carry it all over the place. Hair to comb, hair to brush. To twist and plait or just lie flat. Hair for hands to touch and to play. Hair to take the gloom away. Sitting still for hands to brush or braid and make the day start hopefully. All kinks gone, all heads of joy. These short tight naps or plaited strands all let girls go running free. Happy to be nappy. Happy with hair, all short and strong. Happy with locks that twist and curl. Just all girl happy. Happy to be nappy hair.
So that's one. I'm going to go back to my message app and let me see if I can find read aloud. Okay. I don't know if I can find a, hopefully. The sound is not as loud as what I would like. This one might be a little bit better.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Storytime with Mr. Stephen, featuring the wife of Mr. Stephen, Mrs. Allison. Today, we're going to dive into the book, Happy to be Nappy. I hope that you enjoy this book as much as I do. Happy to be Nappy, written by Bell Hooks. Girl pie hair smells clean and sweet. Is soft like cotton, flower petal, billowy soft, full of frizz and fuzz. A halo, a crown, a covering for heads that are round. It can be smooth or patted down, pull tight, cut close. Or just let go so wind can carry it all over the place. Hair to comb, hair to brush, to twist and plait, or just lie flat. Hair for hands to touch and play. Hair to take the gloom away. Sitting still for hands to brush or braid and make the day start, hopefully. All kinks gone, all heads of joy. These short, tight naps or plaited strands all let girls go running free. Happy to be nappy. Happy with hair all short and strong? Happy with locks that twist and curl? Just all girl happy, happy to be nappy hair. The end.
Okay, finally, I was able to actually put that in a screen, and I'm going to stop screen share and get back to the workshop on a discussion. Stop share. Okay, so not everyone is into children's literature. I'm aware of that. So it's a genre that I consider that as a very versatile. Anyone can write a book is a whole point. And not many people realize someone who's academically trained, just like we have a very impressive dean who's passionate and in training is computer engineering, but that she embraces a literature festival and she committed so much time to ensure that we will have this global interactive learning workshop as a good example. And each of you can be very creative just to give that bell hooks as a person that you can look it up to see and then explore and use it as a frame of reference as you grow in a creative writing. I also wanted to introduce how versatile bell hooks is. So all of the 30 plus books that she wrote, and it has a little introduction of Maya Angelou. This will to change addresses how to overcome patriotic self-identity of a man. And it's the opposite spectrum of a feminist theory, and that how masculinity, men being having to have that framework of a strong man, boys who don't cry should not have to be that way, is how she's addressing. And her critical writing is really in the sense of that a versatile way of including individual expression. I'm not gonna recite, but everyone needs to love and be loved, and even men. So this one, through feminist theory, she's addressing embracing manhood by embracing outside of being masculine, being a man. And so that's a critical theory of breaking down your identity and reconstruct healthier self-identity. Not many people think of the feminist theory as a way to actually help masculinity, which is the opposite spectrum of critical identity of gender. And someone as academic as she is, who can also write, embracing a black hair differences, as one of you in a self-introduction that at the Amity University, you learn how to embrace differences, how to overcome fear, the changes, and how to embrace the passion of yours, such as sustainabilities, and all those 300 degrees of looking around through reading, writing, speaking, and listening, to go outside of your thinking box, as most of us as a well-to-do student in a societal structure such as India, with what we call is high culture, meaning you have a long history. And where I came from as a Japanese, I had an unspoken cultural training, being a part of the family and in schooling, very similar. Fact recall as one of the learning objectives, to answer what is expected, to follow the code of a profession, what is appropriate, and to make sure that you are within the context of, unspoken etiquette and expression. And I want you to remember the takeaway is that the will to change, you can change, and creative writing, there's no such thing as a structure, as we said, in the high culture. So to that end, America really excel in a creative genre. Even give you some idea on the creative writing, literature, and the science, because some of you are also very much interested in getting trained in agricultural science, engineering science, biomedical science, which is people in a box thinking, and it's the two different school of thought. Bell Hooks allows you to think outside of the box, to say creative writing, there's no wrongdoing. It must begin with you. It must begin with a way of bringing about the change, and then change begins with you. And you must use listening, speaking, writing, by reading it. So I'm glad that many of you had a passion for literature, and you are already well versed into reading. And I highly recommend you through today's workshop that I hope to introduce Bell Hooks, who's very, very wide range in a creative writing, to Happy to be Nappy as a book for children's literature. Disney picked it up, and Disney is really non-academic, but America and the world popular culture. It brings a lot of the stories, and so it is reintroduced by Disney. And I also would like you to consider reading rest of her 29 books that she has in her feminist thought, critical theory, masculinity, something that is within the letter and the science that is more academic. So the people who joined today and today's workshop but did not have an opportunity to express who you are, I would love to hear who you are. Just introduce yourself, and maybe one or two things on a thoughts on a bell hooks or creative writing, your takeaway. I'd appreciate it. It is 8:21. I'm going to, first of all, thank everyone. I would probably not pronounce it perfectly, so forgive me for that. But today is a creative writing workshop, so that I suppose all pronunciations are acceptable. Sanidi, thank you. And I want to say Niha, Sneha, and Raj, who spoke, Nikita, who spoke beautifully, both of you, and Kriti. And there are Kriti Jain and Kriti Noli and Ishika. Thank you. And Anaya, who spoke, thank you. Haley was the first person who spoke. Thank you. And I just could not make this possible without Don's help. So thank you. And I believe Dean might have stepped away. So who'd like to share who you are, and maybe a little bit about the takeaway of tuning into this workshop, of what is this creative writing, and what it should be, and what might allow you to start. Thank you, Nikita. Thank you for raising hand. You are so skilled. I'm very impressed. Please unmute and put back your screen. I'm going to close that participant's number. You're on, Nikita.
Yes, ma'am, 1 minute.
Yes, you're welcome to unmute.
So hi, ma'am. I'm sorry for my background noise because I'm in my office right now. So I learned a lot today, and I am a writer. I love to write things. I'm into creative writing. I write poems and everything. And this workshop makes me embrace that talent more. Like now, usually I used to think, what if I write something wrong? What if people point me out? What if if I'm not able to exactly express what I have in my mind? But listening to you today made me feel like it's okay. It's just about how you feel and how you want to express it, more or less, and not about how good it needs to be and how decorated everything needs to be. Sometimes simple things speak a lot more than all that decorated gaudy stuff.
Wonderful.
So that's
Yeah.
what I feel.
Thank you. Be you. Be yourself. Thank you. Who'd like to say any expression? Thank you, Nikita.
Good evening, ma'am. Ishika here. Sorry, I was not able to unmute myself earlier. So, ma'am, I am currently studying English honors from Amity University. And I would like to say that I'm a kind of person who is interested in interviews, who loves listening to interviews, listening to podcasts. And I believe that after the pandemic, like this culture of virtual interaction has really increased. So, ma'am, I'm into listening interviews, podcast, and apart from it, I'm also a sports fan. So I like watching cricket. Um, and creative writing for me is like I started writing in a diary entry since I was 9 years old, and it is really helpful when you don't have a person to express your thoughts, to express your concerns, which are personal to you. You can always go to your diary, to your to your diary, which is really a dear friend of mine. So I believe that creative writing for me is expression of emotions. And uh, uh, and I do think that when you're not able to say anything directly, art plays a very major role in that. So you can express it by dancing, singing, recitation, comedy. Like most of the comedians also, they are not like the the happiest people, but they are the ones who can convert their feelings of disgrace or something, feelings like those, into positive ones and make people around them have a good time.
Excellent.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I learned a lot through your workshop, through your sessions, and I may tell you that we do have a subject of creative writing in our semester. So we had that creative writing and then advanced creative writing, and we do learn about all those things. Also, ma'am, I would like to say that we had a Maya Angelou's book also in our first year, of Why the Cage. I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings, by Maya Angelou. So we had that in our curriculum, and we had studied about Maya Angelou in detail in our first year. Thank you, ma'am.
Very impressive. Very impressive. Thank you. I would like to also answer one the question that was written on the space. It says, Mom, is there any reason why Bell Hook's name is always in lower case? Yes. I'm going to write it too. So it was, I'm going to write it and say it. It was her intention, meaning purposeful, willed. She wanted people to see it. It's a way of expressing. She wanted to change the mindset because people will come and correct Bell Hooks. They're like, oh, you're writing wrong. No, this is how I'm going to express it. And then now people are expressing everything in lowercase, kind of emulating. It's like a style. Maybe there is a proper, like say the code of profession, how you dress yourself. Say judge, Judy is American televised judge who wore pink gown, which is her intention to show that judges can be as different and unique. Code of profession for judges, that laws, it's a letter is a black. So to break outside of a thinking, she wanted people to see her intention, see her intention to change. There is Bell Hooks I'm going to give on this answer as to why this intention, the will to change, is important. I think Bell Hooks wrote that. Hold on. I will. So in our rapidly changing society, which include India, very, very dynamic nation. And your university is very, very dynamic and very, very large. And in rapidly changing society, we can count on only two things that will never change. What will never change is the will, your intention, also known as a will, W-I-L-L, your intention to change, and the fear of change. It is a will to change that motivates us to seek help. And the other one is it is a fear of a change that motivates us to resist the very help we seek. So she used lowercase in creative writing because writing has so much code of a profession called grammar, what is correct. She wanted to change. She wanted to break that. How you express is valid. Everything is valid. Everything is true. That's your intention. It was not an accident. So very important to notice that bell hooks that it always introduced herself with a lowercase. Thank you. That's a great question. Anybody else has a thought? It is 8:30, so I wanted to check in to make sure that I'm okay with the time. Done? Am I okay? Oh, you're welcome. Okay, I'm going to bring back to the workshop organizer. Done? How are we doing with the time?
Dhan, are you there?
I think Dhuna is disconnected, maybe due to some network issues.
Yes, ma'am. I think we are done with our time, so we are going
Okay.
good.
Okay, good. So I'm going to conclude. So thank you very much for taking the time to listen and interact. I'm very grateful. Hopefully I get to see you maybe in another occasion. I hope you consider study abroad. I hope you consider University of Wisconsin, and hope to see you soon.
Okay,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank
Ma'am, am I
you.
audible? Yep, come again, ma'am. Ma'am, am
Yes.
I audible? Yeah. Ma'am, done. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Ma'am,
Well,
really
hello.
sorry for the starting, ma'am. I was just busy with some technical stuff. Yes, ma'am.
No
I'm really
problem.
sorry for that. Yes, ma'am.
No problem. I let that participants. I wanted to monitor the time,
Yes, ma'am.
and I'm not sure if everyone was able to introduce themselves, but majority did. So Dean checked in, and
Yes, ma'am.
Nidika answered and asked the questions, and then I believe Ahili was the first person that helped me out, and Ishika
Yes,
was the last one who answered. Yeah, and then you
Ma'am,
said so.
I'm really sorry, ma'am, for that, ma'am. I was just busy with some other work and coordinating.
Nope,
I'm
we're
really
good.
sorry.
So,
Yes,
is there
ma'am.
anything else that you would like me to prepare or
No, ma'am, I'm
conclude?
just ma'am, hope to see you tomorrow for your panel as well, ma'am.
Yep,
That's at
sounds
10
good.
minutes. Yes, ma'am.
10 o'clock. Thank you.
10 a.m. in the
Thank
morning.
you
Yes, ma'am.
so much
Thank
for
you so much,
joining,
ma'am.
ma'am. It was really a wonderful session. All the
Well,
students
thank you.
learned a lot.
Thank you. I learned about you, and I think it's just as important. I hope you come to United States, and I hope you continue to advance with your technology and your content area. I know some of you are in agriculture, and some of you are in communication in different backgrounds. So I wish you well.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.